Good evening, guys. My name is Budgie Wust. My birth certificate name is capital letters Frederick Wust. Now, I have filed the forms to separate myself from that name, and I am no longer that person. Now, today I'm going to be talking about forced vaccines and forced licenses on an animal. Now, number one, if every animal in the world had a license, that would be a multi-trillion-dollar business. Okay? If you require a license for an animal, this is a slippery slope, because that means that a blue jay would have to have a license. My animals do not belong to a state. They don't belong to me. They belong to God. And that's a religious right. If you get a license for your dog, the state and the government says that's their dog. This is ludicrous. These are the ravenous wolves in sheep's clothing, predator and upon our civil liberties and civil rights. Now, can a veterinarian tell me what's in the vaccine? Because we live in a full disclosure state, right? No, they cannot. They cannot tell you what's in it. Is it against the law to poison someone? Yes, it is. Okay. We know that the thimerosal is poison. Okay. We know that mercury is poison, right? And formaldehyde, squalene, microorganisms are definitely toxic, right? And we know that contaminations. So, and of course, aluminum dumbs down the dog. We know that for a fact. That's a fact. Aluminum is a genetically modified animal. And spiritually, if you put aluminum in your body, which is what they're spraying from the chemtrails, it will take out all the copper and replace the copper with aluminum. Copper is the most conductive metal. Matter of fact, Jesus would be called a copper top, because it is a metal that reacts to the stars and the planets, the real internet of the world. So let's don't get too much into that. Let's get back to this. There are 26 Bible verses about being unclean. So absolutely vaccines would fall into that category. You're making someone unclean. There are 15 Bible verses about killing animals. Now we know that the vaccines create the problem and then pretend like they're the solution. And of course they own the media, so they get a reaction, right? So problem, solution, and then billions of dollars. Now we know that the vaccine in 2005 was a $6 billion industry. In 2012 was a $34 billion industry. And in 2016, I would imagine that it would probably be over $60 billion. They're making this stuff. And they can't even tell you what's in it. And if they do tell you what's in it, honestly, then these are considered poisons. Right? Now, we know the rabies vaccine, all you need to have is that vaccine once, and it's supposed to be an antibody for the rabies. Here's the other thing. When's the last time you've had a rabies problem? So they're making $60 billion on something that's still not a problem. It's unbelievable. Okay? Also, we know that aluminum is tied into autism, calcification of the pineal gland. We also know that it causes osteoporosis. Now, this is a proven fact. Okay, they have been vaccine injuries, $3.3 billion in lawsuits. So, if they've been $3.3 billion in lawsuits, then obviously there's a problem. So we know that the vaccines is the Trojan horse for you and your kids, and it is spiritual warfare. It is anti-constitutional, and it's anti-religious. So let me just tell you, if somebody comes and says, okay, somebody reported your animal, right? Well, first of all, they have to show the report and the name on the report. They have to legitimify. You can't allow them to racketeer you, right? Okay, so if they just claim somebody reported it, and here's another thing, they have to prove that they didn't pay that person or influence that person to call. Because there's a lot of secret societies in this world. So if a secret society or a Democratic Party says, hey, I want to pick on this guy, and then somebody calls, that's illegal. That's called racketeering. Okay? Now, ASPCA gives all their money to the Democratic Party. So I am currently a Republican and I'm a conservative. We know that the Democratic Party is anti-conservative. So now we have proof that the ASPCA is targeting people that are conservative. Because we know that all the blue jays and the birds and the bees, and they don't have licenses. We know that. Does all the fish in the sea have a license? No. If you're saying that a dog is my property or your property, you're a liar. There's nobody's property. That's spiritual warfare. That's anti-religious. They belong to God. Simple as that. I belong to God. I don't belong to man. That's insane. Okay, so they're racketeering on us. They're creating false documents because they're in a secret society, which is nothing but if the AFCCA supports nothing but Democratic Party, and then you're a Republican, and they target you, that's illegal. That's election fraud, election rigging. Okay? So they're hiring psyops. And when they come take your dogs, they're actually kidnapping the dog. They can't kidnap a dog. The dog belongs to God. I'm just a shepherd. That's it. The dog chooses to be with me. I will guarantee you that if my dogs had a choice to be with the ASPCA or me, they would choose me. My dog was away from me, one night and went into a state of depression. Now, do we take children and steal them away from parents? No. And by the way, the parent doesn't own the kid. God owns that child. The creator, not God, man, not the man who pretends to be a God, but the creator does. That's who owns that. So you never want to license your animal. You're crazy. If you license that animal, you're saying that I'm the owner, which is anti-religious. Now, if I tell God, I own this dog, God is going to say, really? So you're a man who thinks you're a God. You don't own that dog. I will never tell God that I own that dog. No way. God owns that dog. The creator, whoever created this planet and earth and moon. And if you can prove to me that man created this planet, then you can prove to me that the dog belongs to man. No, you can't prove that to me. Prove it to me. Prove to me that man created this planet. Well, you can't do it. So therefore, you can't prove to me that I own the dog or that you own the dog. The dog just chooses to be my companion. That's it. I guarantee you, I can say, hey, dog, go run free. They're going to come right back to me. I'm telling you. So they just choose to be with you. Simple as that. So they're doing election fraud, election rigging, civil violations, off the charts, covertly staging harassment, bullying, bait and switch. They're trying to coerce you into saying something or saying that you're the owner or whatever, or saying that you have to get a license. It's coercion. I mean, it's simple as that. Bullying. In my case, if they kidnap the dog, that's animal abuse. Okay? How am I going to know what you're doing to that dog? Okay? Another thing is they're going to try to character assassinate that person who won't get the license. Oh my God, he won't get a license, blah, blah, blah. They're going to try to arrest you and all kind of stuff like that. They'll put it in the paper, and then boom, they say, oh, he's crazy. Okay? This is also racial profiling. I've even had an ASPC officers say, "Oh, I know who you are." I said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "I'm sure you do. I'm sure you came here to target me and to bully me." And she said, "Yeah, white supremacist." What did she say? White something. And she was Hispanic. Go figure that. Okay, probably a member of Antifa. I would bet you. So, Antifa members being paid to harass certain individuals. Okay, in making racial slurs, violation against. Now they're going to force me with a permit, with a license to sell the dog to them. I don't. The dog just chooses to be with me. I don't own the dog. God owns the dog. You don't own the blue jay. You don't own the wolf. You know, you don't own nothing. You don't own this planet. This planet is equally everybody's. Equally. The dog is equally every person on the earth. So if you require a license for the dog, then everybody on earth has to go down and license my dog. Seriously. Everybody on earth has to license every fish, every bird, every bee, every insect, because it's equally theirs. Seriously. If God gave this earth and the animals, and you're supposed to be the shepherd, you're the shepherd. You're not the owner. You don't own nothing. You don't own anything. You're just here. You have equal share of the earth. That's it. Here, if somebody has 20 acres, you should have 20 acres. To harvest, but it's got definitely nothing to do with, I own it, you know? Even if you own a house, you don't actually own it. The state actually owns it. You need to look this stuff up. Okay, because when you go and file your reports and stuff like that. Title 18, Section 241, you might want to read that, okay? Look up December 6, 1865, how these things happen. Okay. Now, from my personal experience, I actually had a vet give one of my dogs a pill. It was supposed to be a kill-all worm, heartworm, one-for-all pill. Well, the dog got sick and almost died for a pill. Okay, the dog almost died. So, from my experience, they're poisoning my dog. They're endangering my dog. And they can't tell me what's in the pill. Okay? So, and if they did tell you, it would be poison, and it's against the law to poison anything. It's against God's law to kill or poison anything. I mean, also, if the dog has an allergic reaction, my dog has had allergic reactions to vaccines. So, now you can sign a specific waiver that it is against your religious right. So to own a dog or to vaccinate a dog, it's against my religion. It makes the dog unclean. I want my dog to go to heaven. I don't want it to be too stupid to find its way. Now, here's some vets that disagree with, they want you to go see a vet, okay? Dr. Gene Dobbs, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, Dr. John Robb, Dr. Oz actually doesn't agree with vaccines. I have a recording of him saying that. He's changing his tune now. Dr. Russell Blaylock, Dr. John Rawl, Dr. Catherine Becker, Dr. Mayer Einstein. So these are doctors that say the vaccines are killing the animals. Simple as that. And that they're having conditions like instant death. I'm running out of time, okay? So instant death, okay? They go into paralysis when you... So they have serum sickness. It dumbs them down. They have instant tumors where you vaccine the dog. And it gives the dog an autoimmune system disease. So, you can't poison an animal. All right, I'm out of time. Thanks for listening. I've got a lot more information, and I'll probably share that on another video.